Now, questions about the general safety of Ghana's rail sector have come up after a train killed a 59-year-old man last Sunday at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle here in Accra. A visit to the rail lines Tuesday morning revealed heavy human activity around the rail tracks, breaching the 50-meter buffer. But Minister for Railways Development, Honorable Joe Gate, says his outfit will check the massive encroachment and also institute steps for the establishment of a regulatory body that will solely be in charge of railway safety. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba visited the Circle and Alajo rail lines and has come through with this report. He first spoke with the brother of the man who was killed last Sunday.
That was on Sunday. We just informed the family that he's going to Sakumono. And that day, in fact, all of us were shocked to even hear that. That was yesterday, to hear that we should come to the police morgue to identify a body. And when we got there, it was our brother. The rail passed on him, and the whole body was, say, into pieces. So yesterday at the morgue, we were able to bring it together so that at least we can be able to put him in a place.
After that gory incident on Sunday, we are here in the Central Business District to meet Comfort Adai. Comfort has been selling here in this market for decades. We want to find out from her how safe she thinks she is selling very close to the rail lines. We also want to know from her the danger involved and how she's able to do business here in this market.
I used to hawk here, but now I am old. That is why I'm selling here. We are usually scared, so we have to move away when we sight an oncoming train. We fear the train. They have decided to eject us from here, but we continue to beg them.
On one of the coaches en route to Accra, but just to give you an idea of the heavy human activity here, this is what it looks like. Well, umbrellas are very, very close to the rail line, such that I can even touch them as the coach moves along. It gives you an impression of how close these market women are selling on the rail lines here in the Central Business District.
Yeah. Well, I'm Stephen Nemo, the Railway Workers Union chairman. That's Greater Accra.
How did this market start in the first place?
You see, this market started when we were running passenger trains from here to Kumasi and back, and here to Takoradi and back. Because normally those trains it's these market women who normally board the trains. So when they come to the last destination, they offload their foodstuffs here and sell. When they sell it, they get back to the train and go by the train again. The following day they will come. That's how it started.
Well, this train looks very cozy, very comfortable. And Honorable Minister in charge of Railway Development is saying that we need to have a lot more trains like this one. As it stands right now, there are steps currently underway to ensure that Ghana's railway sector is revamped. Honorable Joe Gate.
This train that you see is a very slow train. One just came by, traveling 20 miles per hour, makes a lot of noise. And under President Akufo-Addo's program for doing the train line from Accra to Paga, we are going to use faster trains, trains that go over 100 kilometers per hour. So you can't have the situation where people are virtually living on and off the track. And so we have to have a process where we shall engage the people and we shall compel them to obey the law.
Minister for Railways, Honorable Joe Gate, says government will set up a body that would solely be in charge of rail safety.
We are looking at our legal framework, and we are going to set up a regulatory body which will be looking at safety. We are going to divide the Ghana Railway Development Authority into two, and one section will look at development or promotion, and another section or another part of it will look at regulation.
Now, motorists who fly the Klagwang-Ashamang underpass near Sakumono here in Accra are appealing to government to address the perennial flooding situation there. Their pleas come as many of them were left stranded earlier Tuesday following flooding at the underpass, leaving hundreds of vehicles in a massive traffic jam. Some of the affected commuters and motorists told Joy News the situation is increasingly becoming unbearable. Matilda Omega has more.
So these are residents who live within Ashaiman, Lashbi, Klagon and its environs. Most of them are trying to get to the other side of the road, which is to my left. That is to the Ashaiman township. Most of them have to go through this ordeal anytime it rains within this area. To my right is the road that links to the Klagon, Lashbi and Sakumono environs. Most of these communities are usually cut off whenever it rains because most of them have to ply the underpass, and the underpass gets so flooded whenever it rains. And it's been 4 hours of rain Tuesday dawn, and several of these commuters and drivers here are refusing to use the underpass because their vehicles will not be able to go through this area. So most of them, as an alternative, have to park on the shoulders of the road to allow commuters cross the motorway to the other side of the town.
This area we find it difficulties. It's many difficulties because when the rain rains like this, all the area flood. There is a flood. Even down there, you can't even pass there. You know? So all we need is government to help. Either they will do an overhead bridge and make some big gutters for us. You know? Some big gutters for us, canals and other things.
I realize most of the cars park on the shoulders for you people to alight and then cross to the other side of the road.
Yeah. Because you know, say the entrance from here to Ajay Kojo and from here to how do you call it, Kanewu, how do you call it, New Quarters, they are nearby here. So when we get something like overhead or footbridge, it will help us.
So I park my car for the back because the waterway there, you know, if you pass inside. So it means today I don't go work, but I'm paying tax, my roadworthy, my insurance, everything, and then I can't use the road. What is the essence of you paying money for the roadworthy? Because I know if the road is worthy, that's why I'm supposed to pay the road worthy. But the road is not worthy. So today like this, I'm appealing to the government. I lose. I'm a family man. I don't go work today. I park my car because of the water. So how do you go and feed my family? Okay. So we're appealing to the government. It should come and do something about it.
It's very, very serious. Looking at this underbridge, when it rains, for instance, look at those cars parked there. All those cars are parked there because water has entered into their engines and they decided to park the cars there so that they are refusing to go. This morning, we have to go and hire a pumping machine to pump those waters so that the level of the water can go down, so that some of the motors can pass through to the other side. It's very, very serious. We are appealing to the ASHMA, the TMA, Mr. Carlos Ahinkra, and his MP for Tamawai to come to our aid. We are suffering here.
So, so whenever it rains, you people have to look for this pumping machine to do at what cost?
At times you go for it maybe 150 Ghana, you buy our own fuel. So as we are pumping the water and the level is reducing, we try to take some money, some collecting toll from the drivers. Those who are willing to pay, they pay. So that we can mobilize some money to go and pay the machine's owner. That's what we do. If not, so no car can pass through this water. The underbridge gets full of its water, it cannot even get through.
Well, elsewhere, some residents in Tema have asked the Metropolitan Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, deseal the city's storm drains as the rains setting to avert any possible tragedy. It follows a 2-hour downpour in the metropolis, which destroyed some properties. The residents fear a failure to deseal, especially the storm drains in the city, would cause a lot more distraction. Kwame Yanka's report.
Though the water level had receded at Community 5 parks and gardens, storm drains in the area could not contain the volume of water from other areas. It then spilled into the community, destroying property Tuesday dawn. It was clear that the storm drain in the area was filled with silt and other foreign materials. The residents who spoke to Joy News said they have on countless occasions reported the issue to TMA, but to no avail. According to them, they've made attempts to desilt but could not get the needed implements to do so. They fear the worst could happen if Tema experiences long hours of rainfall in the coming days and are therefore appealing to the TMA to act to avoid any disaster.
If they can come in, with the youth over here, they can get us some tipper truck, so whereby when we take the sand or whatever is in the gutter, we just dump it into the tipper truck direct, because if it looks like if we take the sand, whatever is in the gutter, and then we put it aside, when it rains again, it will come inside.
I want to tell all that people that standing for Assemblyman and the MP for Tamayiwe that time to come, they will not get our vote again.
Now, my fear is we now started raining now. We are in the rainy season now. 2 months before the rainy season will be over. Does it mean that if they don't come to help us, that we are going to go through this system each and every day? So please, we are appealing to those authorities that they can even help us. Is it the TDC? Is it the TMA? Is it GAPOA to come and help us? Because the assemblyman that we elected to come and help us to solve issues, even community issues, he has never even stepped foot to our place to even help us.
At Community 3, some residents at Snit Flats are calling on TMA to pull down a wall erected by a private developer behind the flats at Site B. The wall, according to them, is preventing smooth flow of water into the lagoons for years. They are accusing TMA of turning blind eye to the issue they have been battling with for over the years and fear the flats could sink or even collapse as the buildings continue to soak stagnant water.
Yeah, it can collapse because the blocks are hollow ones. Only the pillars are the solid ones. So when there's crack, because of there are a lot of cracks that have been emanating. So it is very important that they intervene as early as possible.
When they build the block, the wall, then this block the gutter. It blocked the gutter, and then the water can't flow properly.
The whole hall was flooded, so we had to come and clean up the place. The other side of the wall was leaking, so we had to use these containers to take the water, and within 5 minutes we filled the bucket down here and poured it into the sink. I think we did that for more than 2 hours.
Meanwhile, TMA has assured it will respond to issues by Wednesday.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but still to come. 3 telcos, Airtel, Glo and Kaspa, threatened with severe sanctions over lack of network coverage in the Volta region town of Hadaklu and surrounding communities. And the minority in Parliament also threatened to bring contempt charges against the finance minister if he fails to show up in Parliament with answers to their questions over the controversial $2.25 billion bond issue. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a bit. The Ghana Police Service has warned persons who engage in lynching of suspects under the pretext of mob justice will have to desist from the act. The warning follows fresh reports of similar incidents occurring after the gruesome murder of now Major Maxwell Adam Mahama in different parts of the country. Joining us, Joseph Akable has been engaging the Deputy PRO of the service, who has assured the police is on top of the cases and will ensure all persons who engage in such mob attacks will be punished.
People must have confidence in the police, and in any case, it is up to all citizens to partner the police to prevent and fight crime. Every individual in the country must be responsible enough to want not to be involved in crime or to help fight crime. And so we must build trust and confidence in the police. My brother, I tell you, if we did not have confidence in the police, we wouldn't be enjoying the peace that we are enjoying in the country. The fact that there are 1 or 2 incidents shouldn't win people's trust. Let us continue to support the police, and let us continue to be partners against the fight, partners in the fight against crime, and we will all have a better place to live in the country.
Now, for mob injustice itself, what is the Ghana Police Service doing about that? Just today, we again had a report of someone being lynched over 1 cedi 50 pesos somewhere in Goma, Fete. It appears it's something that cuts across the country. You have people wanting to take the law into their own hands. What message does the Ghana Police Service have for them?
Fellow Ghanaians, it is not our duty as individuals to exact punishments. The only institution that the Constitution has given authority to exact punishment is the judiciary. If for any reason we believe that a person has committed a crime or has done anything wrong, it is not up to us. We do not have the authority to want to punish the person by throwing gadgets or by hurting the person or even in the process murdering the person. If we see anybody that we suspect to have committed crime, let us hand the person over to the police. We can call the police. We can go to the nearest police station. We can even fall on the media, because now the media is helping us a lot. With this investigation that we are conducting, we get feed from the media as well, not just ordinary citizens. And so we shouldn't in any way, because if we don't take care, tomorrow it might happen to you, it might happen to me, and then we would know how painful it is. And so we plead with everyone, we shouldn't in any way think that we have the authority to exact punishment, because that particular act that you do, which might lead to the punishment of another without due process, might also be criminal. And when we get you, we will deal with you. You would face the full rigors of the law.
Now, it has been some tough few days for clients of suspended human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu, who has been barred from practicing for 3 years by the General Legal Counsel. The council on June 1, 2017 convicted the lawyer on 4 counts, which he pleaded guilty. There have been widespread criticism of the council's decision, with many saying it was too harsh, especially as it may deprive his helpless and mostly poor clients his much-needed service. The firm where he practices FX has, however, assured his clients they have nothing to worry, as the suspension does not affect the running of the firm, which is 4 other managing partners and 3 associates. Komla Dom has more from FX Law and Associates.
Today here at FX Law and Associates, the law firm belonging to embattled lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu, who has recently been suspended for some unethical practices according to the General Legal Counsel. Activities here have been, as usual, smooth. Clients are walking in and out of the law firm. The associates as well as the managing partners are also busily doing their activities here as a normal day. I have been picking information that the suspension of Francis Xavier Sosu is not by any means affecting work in the law firm here, as other managing partners are busily conducting activities as usual. But I've been speaking to some clients who have trooped into the law firm today to ensure continuity of their cases, and they've been telling me that the suspension of lawyer Xavier Francis Sosu is making them uncertain about whether their case will see finality or not. I've been speaking to one individual who is fighting a dismissal from his workplace, and he tells me that he's been following this case for the past 3 years, but the suspension of Francis Xavier Sosu has left his case in a balance.
It's almost completion. Yeah, we are about to be completed. So, in fact, I just heard the news last Sunday evening that Lawyer Sosu has been suspended, and I say, my God, I'm dead, because when a friend told me that Lawyer Sosu can help me to solve my problem, really, when I came to him, I narrated my story, and he put himself into my shoes, and then he let me. I didn't pay any penny apart from the legal fee, the filing fee. We've been to court for almost 10 times. I didn't pay any penny for Lawyer Sosu.
How long has this case been running?
For him, leading the case is about 2 years now. But my case has been, that was 2012, they terminated my appointment. And first I went for a legal person, and I can say that that place is not helping me. So a friend told me I should come to Royal Assessor then to help me. And really, when I came, I've seen the difference.
When are you supposed to appear in court next?
And that will be on the 18th July. 18th July.
So how worried are you that this latest decision by the General Legal Counsel is going to affect your case in court?
Very greatly, because I per se, since I was terminated, I'm jobless. In fact, I had an accident, so it has affected my spinal cord. I cannot work. I have a children, 2 kids and a wife. I'm a married person. I have 2 kids and a wife. And since 2012, I've not been working. Just I'm having support from a friends and the family, some of the family members. And even how the case is traveling, they all wanted to give up. But lawyers also keep telling me that I shouldn't give up. Because at times I feel like, taking my life off, because the things that I'm going through, pains, I'm going through pains. When I sleep, I cannot sleep, because there are some mentals in my arms, my spinal cord, I cannot handle things.
Tourism Minister Catherine Afeku has defended the role of the NPP's invincible forces in the Kintampo waterfalls tragedy that took 20 lives. She says they played no part in how the disaster happened. Some traditional leaders and an MP in the area allege the NPP vigilante group seized the facility following a change in government, resulting in the unavailability of experienced handlers to save victims on the day of the tragedy. With briefing MPs Tuesday, Catherine Afeku said the investigation found evidence to the contrary. He says work on the site will be completed soon to allow for its reopening to the public.
A day after my team, the Vice President of the Republic of this nation, and other stakeholders visited the site, we did not see any illegal occupation of the site. And we were there with the media. When my colleague says reports, this is a house of records. Is that report authentic? Can he give us a copy of that said report? Because we were there with the media. We were over 50 people who toured the site, met the bereaved families, and actually visited homes of people. No one was able to corroborate the story of illegal occupation of the site. And in memory of the fallen victims, I'd like for us to see this as a solemn issue of safety and insecurity around our tourist sites. There were no forces, as he may pertain. I did not see that.
The minority pressed the minister for firm responses on whether the invincible forces played a role in what happened. In the following media interview, the minister insisted the municipal assembly was in charge of the site, not the invincible forces.
There is no role of Delta Force, so don't even go there with the story of the role of
chiefs who corroborated such reports when the incident happened.
Was it authenticated?
The chief mentioned it.
Was it
the chief
authenticated?
By the committee.
Was it authenticated? We tend to focus so much on negativity as media. Please, 20 people lost their lives. Is that all you can see and talk about? What has happened to the families? Dig deeper to what? Let's refocus our energies on what is positive, not hearsay and sensational stories.
It's important to clear the air.
But the air was cleared.
When it came
The air was cleared in March, in April, in June. What else?
So who was managing the site?
The municipal assembly, and it is on record. And I said that in Parliament. It's gone into Hansard. It is the municipal assembly on record that runs the Kintampo Falls. Nobody else.
And that's at the time that the incident happened.
It is the municipal assembly that runs the falls.
They had the adequate training to have helped salvage the situation.
The municipal assembly?
No, the officials who are running the site.
But you heard in my recommendations, that is the reason why we are doing all these reconnaissance, to make sure we train people, to make sure we actually have adequate staffing on site. But as with the hearsay and the sensational stories, I don't want to be part of that. I am focused on making sure that the victims did not die in vain.
Yeah, but moving forward.
Right, you're taking a break on Joy News Prime, but we have a lot more stories coming up. One very interesting story, well, I find it quite interesting. It's already been a year since a fire outbreak at Kintampo in the Ashanti region, which wiped out 7 members of the family. We have an update on that report or that fire incident for your station.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Business. Despite the reduction in the policy rate by 300 basis points, lending rates are still high because some commercial banks are yet to reduce their interest rates, while others maintain it is not the only factor influencing the cost of doing business. We have been speaking to Managing Director of Standard Chartered Bank, Mansa Neti, after the bank's annual general meeting on the issue, and she insists that the rates are going to drop if the fundamentals improve.
Fundamentals, that is fundamentally, what drives rates down. So inflation comes down, interest rates come down. But I also think efficiency is the way to go. Standard Chartered Bank, we focused on efficiency in the last 2 years. Our interest rate is one of the lowest in the industry. Our base rate is one of the lowest in the industry. So as the economic fundamentals continue to improve. Banks focus on efficiencies. The NPLs in the industry, decline. I'm sure, the interest rates will follow. And as MPC reduces the rates, a lot sharper than they currently have, interest rates will definitely come. Bank lending rates will come down.
And you're one of those who believe that the outlook points to more of a downward trend in terms of the cost of credit.
You look at the economic fundamentals. Inflation is now 13%. The CD has been relatively stable. So this, one of the reasons why the CD is relatively stable is the trade balance for the first quarter was positive. That was mainly driven by gold imports. So if you look at these fundamentals, it looks as if the outlook is a lot more positive.
Now, the downward trend of inflation is likely to affect earnings of fund managers on the Ghana Stock Exchange. This situation is compelling some fund managers to explain to shareholders the need to bear with the current economic situation. Ghana's inflation rate is currently pegged at 12.9%, affecting profit for shareholders of various financial institutions. Professor Cletus Dodonu, chairman of the board of First Bank Financial Services, who said this during the company's 7th annual general meeting in Accra, confirmed this development. Ebenezer Sabute has more.
The fall in inflation rate since last year has affected earnings of shareholders and fund managers. The year 2016 ended with an inflation rate of 15.4%, but as at January 2017, inflation had dropped further to 13.3%, the lowest since December 2013. In an interview with Joy Business at the sidelines of its annual general meeting, chairman of the board of First Bank Financial Services, Professor Cletus Dodonu, noted it's about time shareholders brace themselves with the current economic environment, since the continuous drop in inflation will have a negative effect on their earnings.
Smooth, but a bit erratic in terms of inflationary expectations. So up to the middle of the year, at the beginning we were doing about 19.9%. And inflation, when it is high, you need people to understand that what they will earn in terms of rate will be higher than at least 19%.
So you mean higher inflation pushes the earning of...
It does, because unless the person is suffering from money illusion.
First Bank grew its fund asset by 70% closing the year at 75.81 million Ghana cedis from 44.45 million cedis. Clientele base was also increased by over 21% to 14,000. The fund therefore recorded a net interest income of 18,000 Ghana cedis in 2016 as against 19,000 in 2015. The growth is attributed to a high volume of business and higher market rates. As to how the company is leveraging a friendly economic environment to boost profit to shareholders, Amenyo Setoji is the managing director of First Bank.
Funds trickling into the economy. If that happens, you're looking at the downstream spillovers in terms of auxiliary companies that will be coming up, a lot of employment that will be generated. And it's all about targeting formal and informal sector workers. So we believe strongly that as the economy expands as a result of the Sankofa and the TEM project, that's an area that we can tap into. Basically, it's all about access, it's all about platforms. And we our main target this year is to work on our IT platform, the infrastructure that we have. And GT Bank, one of the banks that we've partnered with, just spoke with you. What we're doing is that there's something we call My GHP. That is a website that when you get to, you will have a platform where you have our First Fund, our Heritage Fund.
The fund had also initiated steps to enhance mobilizing deposits through the use of mobile money services.
Away from the financial sector, a strategic business model is essential in improving the chances of success for small-scale businesses. However, most of these businesses in the country do not have such models. To help address this, not-for-profit organization Invest in Africa, together with accounting firm Ernst & Young and Joy Business, will be holding a training session for SMEs. Marketing manager of Invest in Africa, Beauty Labi, has been shedding more light on the event set to take place on Wednesday.
This workshop is supposed to support SMEs, help them become investor ready, know more about access to finance and increase profitability. Invest in Africa is a cross-sector partnership of companies that tackles the challenges of doing business in Ghana. Sometime last year and this year, we've worked with over 1,500 SMEs, and some of the major challenges they face is access to finance and also how to increase profitability to grow their business. That is why we are doing this workshop.
Okay. So what's the theme for this workshop? I know it's not the first, and why did we select that theme?
The theme for this workshop, which is happening tomorrow, is establishing the right business models for profitability. So when you start a business, the bottom line is for you to make some money and also expand and make sure that the business is growing. However, access to finance remains a critical need for businesses to reach that point. So we chose this theme so that it would allow people to know what they need to do with regards to financial management to increase profitability. During the event, we'll be discussing topics like cash flow management, which is something that banks really look out for whenever they want to give you a loan to expand your business or to grow your business. We'll also look at cost and profitability, how you manage your cost and the profits that come in. We're also going to look at basic accounting and bookkeeping, which is also critical. So when you do all your marketing, customer service, sales, financial management remains critical because that is what banks and investments are looking at to see that if I give you X amount, are you able to pay back and still sustain the business? That is why we chose the theme, and these are the topics that we are going to discuss.
Okay. Tell us about the facilitators for this program, EY, why they were chosen to do this.
EY remains a partner to Invest in Africa. And as we all know, Ernst & Young is a renowned company when it comes to taxation, management, and consultancy. So EY worked with us last year with the help of the Dutch Development Bank, FMO, to organize a similar management training. And when we had issues of access to finance showing its head, whenever we spoke to SMEs, we decided to go back to them to help us do this one as well. EY agreed to join us again to support these SMEs to understand the models they need to become access to finance ready, investor ready, and also grow their profits.
And that's all by way of business tonight. Many thanks for watching. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. Have a good evening.
Now, the Pra River, which was heavily polluted and discolored as a result of illegal mining activities along its catchment areas, is said to be clearing up. The development has been attributed to the recent clampdown on Galamsey operations, which has seen the seizure of mining equipment and the moratorium on small-scale mining in the last 2 months. Joy News correspondent Richard Kodonyako, who has been traveling through some of the Galamsey communities, reports residents along the Pra River say it now flows very well and is looking a lot better.
Joy News checks along the banks of River Pra, where it flows from Asempra, to indicate that all excavators and machines that were used by Galamsey operators have been removed. Hitherto, the machines and other equipment impeded the movement of the river. The Galamsey miners also use dangerous chemicals unsafe for human consumption in their mining activities, thus making the river unsafe for anything. The water turns slimy and darkish brown as a result of these activities. A visit by Joy News over the weekend has revealed how residents in the area are hailing the change in the color of the river and how the river is now flowing unimpeded.
Galamsey operations that went on the river changes everything. Right now you can see improvement on the river. The color is changing now. Now free flow of the river is on course. It is now moving very nicely, and as you can see, that one, it is on course. And I know the president and then the chief executive officer of this district is also fighting more. He has been, instituting a lot of issues, a lot of programs to stop those doing the Galamsey on the river.
cases and say Nana for the car say and I said Ghana for the who say Galamsey and why this year say now almost says almost a home then they have Plan River there was a change first say you baby did not see a harbor regular say on the Biara Pentono on your project you need to be gallery but I'm really I want to be gallery
At Chifu where the river flows through before it gets to Bepo, so the DC is excited about the change and is promising his administration and its task force will continue to wage the war against Galamsey to claim back the glory of the river. Robert Ajimanyantichi is the DC for Chifu Etimukwa.
Since this policy came out, we haven't actually sat on it at all. I've been meeting with the DISEC, and then they have a task force that has been going around to make sure that people who are doing Galamsey on this river are apprehended and then brought to book. As such, this has been.
Elsewhere, the Chehino Sajifo Mutio for repaying has expressed contentment with government's approach to fighting illegal mining in the country. According to him, he is optimistic the fight will eventually be successful. He was speaking at a endeavor to mark World Environment Day at Chebi in the Eastern region.
The world is one world. We all are living together because he says so. So we need to protect our forests. We're not going to talk about Galamsey today because I believe that the government of the day has a solution. I believe because we have a new sheriff in town and the president, through the Minister of Lands and Forestry, through the media, through the press, through all of us, we are going to win the fight on Galamsey. And we are going to make sure that we return Brave to its original form. The damage we have done is so severe, but I believe with right policies, with good supervision, we can get some back.
The Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Kwabena Frimpong, speaking at the same event, cautioned the people against destroying the environment and its natural resources, warning that could be a threat to their very existence.
Illegal mining activities now,
We have to put a stop to these illegal mining activities. As a time will come, the government will put in place measures to replace illegal mining.
Now, residents of Nkonsia and the Wenchi municipality of the Brunhafo region are threatening to picket at the municipal assembly if construction works of fuel station in the area is not halted. According to them, the land earmarked for use for the fuel station construction is prone to road accidents and could cause a similar disaster to the June 3 one if the fuel station is allowed there. Correspondent Nestor Kafua Juma, who visited the community, reports that residents are angry with the agencies that gave the permit for the fuel station to be sited at Nkonsia.
The community and the Wenchi municipality serves as a transit point for Sunyani, Wenchi and Techiman. Several road accidents have claimed dozens of lives here. Sometimes, vehicles such as this Kia truck crash into people's homes. According to sources, construction of the fuel station started 2 years ago, but the people of Nkonsia raised red flags, and the former MC for Wenchi, Hakibu Dauda, ordered work to halt. Ejayao and his family previously lived where the fuel station is being built. He tells Joy News that his family and 3 other families had to vacate the land because several vehicles kept crashing into their buildings and destroying properties.
I remember when we were younger and there was a school around that same area, and close to it was a church building. However, after a few years, the church was relocated to another area. Shortly after that, the road was developed, and we have witnessed many accidents on this road. It's really surprising to us that this land is being converted to construct a filling station.
Assembly member for Nkunsia electoral area, Evans Besia Amwakun, said he cannot see the reason in establishing a fuel station on a land which is an accident-prone spot. He accused the institutions responsible of not doing their work.
But what they are doing now, Nkunsia is an accident-prone area. What we have to ask ourselves, where they are constructing the filling station, there was a building over there. What happened to the building? Because there were so many casualties over there, and the community thought it twice. We have to leave the place. We have to relocate the people over there to go to other places. They've agreed, and right now, because the community can never and will never ever, or do not have the right to give a certification. The fire service have to give a certification. The EP has to give a certification. So what has happened? Have they come and cross-check where they are constructing the filling station? If not, why? Are we not human being here, or the money they are coming for is worth more than the people of Nkunsia here?
Our cameras captured these two fuel tankers that have just recovered from an accident at the same spot on their way to Wa just before the news team arrived. Ajwa Mercy said she would do whatever it takes to stop the construction because she lost family around the same junction.
Na fie bebre esisi ha accident nti saa nkrofo no nyina ayeden afiri ha wo baabi a na wani esan di wachi a wafi se ha ka timu ti free ebe hye ho ka timu fi sunwan eti free ebe hye ho eye nsem pi nti wono di a filling station wono se aban be boa ya ama omo ajai sa filling station no a anka ye pepa Madam Momu, dear Mimi, what to me, pa, dear. Come in, stop put the Omoya then, Omoya no.
That's the Kafui Ajuma's report.
It's day 2 of the basic certificate examinations across the country, which appears to have been incident-free so far. After writing English and RME on Monday, the students took on one of the most dreaded subjects on Tuesday, integrated science. From Burma Camp here in Accra, Beatrice Edu reports the candidates there seem quite confident about what they put down for the examiner.
At Burma Camp, I've been told by some education officials that there are over 15 schools here and there are 4 examination centers. Currently, I'm at centers A and B. It's on one compound, and actually at center B, where the students are currently writing their exams. And I'm told that today they are taking science and BDT. We'll have an official of the Ghana Education Service explaining to us what that means, but everything seems very calm here, and so I'll call Mr. Enoch Donu Kwabla. Like I said, he is the overall supervisor for the Ghana Education Service, monitoring what's going on so far. Hello, welcome to Joy News.
Thank you too.
So they started the exams yesterday. I'm told that they wrote English and RME. How would you say yesterday was?
Yesterday was nice because questions was on time. Before 9 o'clock, the questions were in. So by 9 o'clock, we start exams, no casualties. Everything went on smoothly.
And today, how has it been?
Today, to the same. The question came earlier than yesterday, around 8:30. The questions were in. So by 9 o'clock, we start the exams, and things are going on well as you came.
So what time did they start the exams?
It's at 9 o'clock. The first paper takes 1 hour, 15 minutes. That is science. Then the paper 2 also takes, paper 1 rather takes another 1 hour. So they will finish in about an hour to come.
I know that previously we've had issues with students trying to cheat and all of that, but have you had that this time?
Oh, no, not yet. We don't have anything as such. Everything is going on smoothly. The invigilators are well trained, and so they check in before they get in. So at the moment, there's no any other things going wrong.
And so you were telling me earlier that this paper they are currently writing, which is science, integrated science, right?
Yes.
They will be done in an hour's time.
Yes, please. It will be done in an hour's time. They just finished the paper 2. They're now on the paper 1, which takes an hour. So in an hour's time, they'll come out with the exam room.
And then the next one, you talked about BDT. Yeah. Which one is that?
That comprises three things. We have home econs, pre-tech, and visual arts. So these aspects, it's a choice of the students. Whether you want to do home econs or you want to do pre-tech or you want to do visual art, it's a choice. So it's a mix-up of three subjects.
So that will be after this integrated science?
Yeah, that's 1 o'clock. Exact 1 o'clock we start that subject.
All right, thank you very much. And you were just watching Enoch Donukwabla. He's the overall supervisor for the Ghana Education Service here at Bema Camp in Accra. And even right here, I can say that there is an ambulance stationed just on campus, just so in case any of the students has an emergency or a medical situation, that student could be transported to the hospital as soon as possible. So within a few minutes, indeed, students have finished writing their integrated science. I have some of them with me. I'll start from my right side. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Joy News.
Oh, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Derek Adam Gakwe.
I'm told you're the school's prefect.
Yes.
Okay, so how did the exams go?
Oh, the exams was cool, but you know, sometimes you have to do some social calculations before you can get it. So, but it was also good, but
was it tough?
A little bit tough.
Now, the minority in Parliament is threatening to slap contempt charges against the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta if he fails to furnish the House with full documentation on the $2.25 billion bond when he appears before the House on Wednesday. Former Deputy Finance Minister and the ranking member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, Atu Ketil-Forson, says the resolution of the House leading to the Finance Minister's appearance must be strictly adhered to. According to him, the documentation on the bond will help settle the controversy surrounding the issuance of the $2.25 billion bond. Atu Forson has been speaking with my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo.
I think the resolution was very straightforward. We are calling the Finance Minister to present to this Honourable House the full complement of the information relating to the recent $2.25 billion. So we are only asking for documentation. We expect that he will come, not in the form of a statement, but obviously coming to this House to present the information to us. We didn't ask for a statement. We're only asking for documentation. So that is exactly what we are expecting, nothing more.
That's not the impression that your colleagues on the majority side gave. They are expecting him to be on the floor to deliver a statement.
And then not to give the documentation? Have you read the resolution? The resolution that was passed by this Honourable House was specific that the minister responsible for finance should appear before this House and present to this Honourable House the full complement of all the documentation relating to the issuance of the bond. That is what we asked for. It is not an action by minority. It will be contempt of Parliament. To be a contempt of Parliament because Parliament was specific. The resolution was straightforward. No ambiguity involved. We said that present full complement of documentation. It will be a contempt to Parliament, but the resolution is clear by majority. I may be judging something that I have not received. Let him present the information. Let's look at the information. And then if there's an issue, maybe presenting the information will put the matter to rest.
How much of a game changer would this documentation make as far as your push for a book probe into this?
I think the documentation may settle the anxiety. The documentations indeed will put to rest the issues relating to the bond. So let us not preempt what it's going to bring. I don't know what it's going to bring. Let him present it, and at that point we will take a decision from there.
Meanwhile, the majority side of the House, which is also looking forward to the appearance of the Finance Minister, says it will bring closure to the matter. Here is MP for Mpoho, Alex Ejekum.
A lot of information have been thrown out there which are not correct. And I believe that this is the opportunity for us to ensure that the motion, the half-hour motion that is going to be made, we don't want a situation where there will be counter motions and other things and then drag issues. And that's why I think that the leadership, the majority leader and the rest have agreed that this thing be done tomorrow. One, it is going to address the issue of the fact that the whole thing, there was transparency in it, because this issue of bond doesn't come within 24 hours. So tomorrow I expect that he will explain and give detailed information as to how these things are done. So those who don't have the fact will know. Number two, the issue of interest will also be addressed, and the issue of conflict of interest and the rest.
And in fact, there's been a claim about causing financial loss to the state, according to the minority, to the tune of $5 billion over the 15-year period.
Tomorrow, I expect
Where's the minority
that the finance minister will also address that issue, and then Ghanaians will be given the chance to know what is meant by causing financial loss to the state. Rather, we have to save the state.
Ghana is positioning itself to adequately respond to issues in the global world. As the world becomes cosmopolitan, it has become important for communicators, politicians, and representatives of the people to better equip themselves with the appropriate skills and knowledge. The Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, has taken a step in this regard. On Tuesday, the institution launched a Master of Arts program in International Relations and Diplomacy, a course the school's authorities believe will fill the knowledge gap in national development. Given the keynote address, former President John Ejikunkufo said it is not ideal for any country, regardless of its wealth or resources, to live in isolation, hence the need for the program.
You cannot run modern governments without technocracy that would help in the formulation of policies of government to achieve balanced policy. Africa seems to be courted from all quarters of the globe now. They come not because they love us, whether from the east or from the west or from the north. They are coming for what they can get from us. And when they come, they see that we do not know. Naturally, they will rob us blind. There's no conscience in this. But when we know why they are coming, they are now mourning on Galamsey and so forth and so on, then we would fashion policies that we would be able to negotiate and negotiate. It's an interdependent world. We can't do away with them. They will come. But when they come and they appreciate we know, then we sit them down. Let's negotiate. Why do you want to come here? You want to do this? This is how we would allow you to do it. And this is our stake in it. You've come to invest. Yes, when you get the profits, you take your dividend as we have agreed to go. We retain what you come to us. This is how the world is working now and will continue to work. But for us to be able to do that, we need to master geopolitics. And then still in these subjects, the legal negotiations. The negotiating skill must be crucial in international relations.
For the country to develop, women and girls must be appreciated, respected, and be part of decision-making. Society must also create an environment where boys are taught the rules of equality and respect, so that as they grow up, gender equality becomes a way of life, whilst girls are also made to believe they can aspire to whatever level is humanly possible. Gender activist Mavis Zintimmebuaji made these remarks at the launch of the maiden edition of the Ghana Gender Equality Awards 2017 in Accra. She says it is high time organizations put in place policies that center on encouraging women and girls to stand up for their rights.
It's been quite a while since this country started appreciating the need for women to partake in male-dominated fields such as politics, engineering, to mention but a few. Statistics show that women are more than men in this country. This means for decades, more than half of the population of this country has been denied of the chance to make a difference. This has caused an imbalance in the decision-making process, demotivated ambitious women, and hampered the development process in this country. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this great initiative? I strongly endorse this idea of awarding institutions and individuals who are making society better, who are not afraid to battle with their male counterparts positively and rise above all odds.
Executive Director at Exclusive Gender Incorporated Stephen Ofosu says it is time women are giving the needed recognition.
Ghana Gender Equality Awards 2017 is being organized to recognize and share the efforts of businesses and individuals who are helping to advance the empowerment of women and aiming to achieve the UN Agenda 2030 for sustainable development. This award is to strengthen Ghana's commitment to encourage businesses and to put in place policies to encourage women and to address the challenges that are holding women back from reaching their goals and full potentials in order for Ghana to achieve UN Planet 50/50 by the year 2030.
This is Joy News Prime.